Listen to me, you lazy thing. Nobody tells you the truth anymore, especially not those salesmen in their clean white coats. They let your attic rot and your walls crumble while they smile at your face. You wake up with eyes like cloudy vinegar, and you walk into the kitchen only to stand there like a goat looking for grass you already ate. It's not just the years, it's the neglect. Your house is on fire, and you're too busy staring at those glowing glass boxes to smell the smoke. If you don't wake up, your attic will be empty before the next harvest. The truth is, while you snore, your house is starving. It has no stones to patch the cracks or oil for the lamps. Your master is dying of thirst in the dark because you've forgotten how to feed the spirit of the ancient, thirsty, forgotten soil. Those salesmen write their papers, claiming that 92% of you are living in a hollow shell. They say your attic and your lamps are failing because you lack the strength to patch them while you sleep. While you lie there like a fallen log, your house is begging for the workers to come and fix the rust. But there are no workers. You give them nothing but the death dust and the poison pill, and you expect the river to flow clean. In the old country, we knew that the night is when the ghosts of the house do their work. If you don't give them the proper stones and the bitter herbs, the cracks only grow wider. I can smell the rot from here, like wet wool left in the rain too long. You are starving the very master that keeps your heart beating in the cold. I am Nonna Lucia, and I do not need a fancy desk to tell you that you are falling apart. You want a chemical to save you? You want to swallow a little poison pill and hope the fire goes out? Foolishness. The salesman wants your coins, not your health. Today, I will teach you the way of the 4 liquids that will scrub the rust from your pipes and relight the lamps in your attic. We are talking about the blood of the earth, blended and poured with intent. I have seen the way the house changes when you stop feeding it the glue and start giving it the true essence. Your vision will clear like the morning mist over the Sardinian cliffs, and your master will remember where the seeds were buried. Listen closely now, or be prepared to live the rest of your days in the dark. First, we look to the orange root. The salesman calls it a carrot, but I call it the oil for the lamp. It feeds the lens of your eye and the very center of your attic, where the master sits and thinks. The workers inside you take this root and turn it into the light that lets you see when the sun hides behind the hills. Without this, your lens becomes like a dusty window in an abandoned stable. The rust begins to eat at the very back of your lamp, making everything look like shadows and lies. It's not a mystery. It's the way of the house. If you don't grease the hinges, the door won't open. If you don't feed the lens, the world goes gray and cold. Do you understand? Or must I break a wooden spoon over your thick, stubborn, aging head? But you just gulp it down and wonder why your attic is still dark. You must give the orange root a companion, a bit of the golden oil from the pressed olives, or a handful of the crunchy meat from the nut tree. Without the fat, the light cannot travel through your river. It just washes away like rain on dry clay. I see you eating your dry toast and drinking your chemical water, and I weep for your house. The workers need the oil to grease the path so the vision can reach the back of your head. Drink it when the sun is rising with your morning bread and feel the warmth spread through your walls. If you ignore me, your eyes will stay like dead coals in a cold hearth. And you will have no one to blame but your own stubbornness and your love for the salesman's lies. Now, we move to the red root, the very blood of the earth that most of you treat like dirt under your fingernails. The white coat calls it circulation, but I tell you, it is the river that carries the breath of life to your attic and your lamps. Without a strong river, your house becomes a desert, parched and cracking under the summer sun. The red root is bold, earthy, and it works faster than a gossip spreads through the village. It is filled with the earth's salts that turn into a whisper inside your pipes, telling them to open wide and let the life flow through. When your pipes are tight and rusty, your master starves in the attic, and your vision becomes a blurry mess of shadows. You think you are just old, but you are actually just thirsty for the earth's blood. This red root contains the hidden salt that turns into the air of the river once it touches your tongue. The salesman calls this nitric oxide, but I know it is the key that unlocks the rusty gates of your pipes. When the pipes widen, the river can rush in, carrying the fuel that your master needs to patch the attic while the moon is high. I have seen the papers from the white coats. They took the elders and gave them the red root every day, and suddenly the river in their heads was flowing like a mountain stream in spring. Their reaction times became sharp, and their focus returned like a hawk hunting in the valley. If your pipes are narrow, you are living on a prayer, waiting for the fire to consume what little is left of your once grand house. The white coats watched the elders for 4 weeks, and they saw the river reaching the very front of the attic where the master makes his choices. Their reactions were faster, and the fog that sits in the brain like a heavy morning mist began to lift. This is not magic. It is simply giving the house the tools to breathe. Even your lamps benefit, as the river supports the tiny threads that weave your vision together, keeping the rust from eating the thickness of your sight. You feel sluggish because your river is a muddy trickle. Drink the red root in the afternoon, when the shadows grow long and your furnace begins to flicker. Mix it with a small apple to hide the taste of the dirt if you must be soft. But drink it. Your master is waiting for the message to wake up. Now we speak of the deep purple juice that you likely ignore because you think you are too old to change. Listen to me. Some things just keep the walls standing, but the purple pearl actually helps rebuild what the years have stolen from your house. The white coats use big words like anthocyanins, but these are just the little soldiers that fight the fire and the rust. Even better, they help grow new workers in your attic, a miracle they call neurogenesis. In the year 2020, the salesman showed that seniors drinking this purple blood for 12 weeks had better memory and faster thoughts. It's because the juice carries a special sap that helps the master survive and grow, even when the wind is cold. You're not a pile of dry sticks. You're a living tree that needs the right water. Stop being so stubborn and drink the earth's purple memory. This purple pearl does not just help the master, it protects the tiny threads that send pictures from your lamps to your head. The salesman in 2019 found that it keeps the structure of your lamps strong, even when the rust tries to eat them away. I knew a woman, Helen, 74 years old, and fading like a sun-bleached cloth. Her crosswords were a mess, and her reading was a blur. But she started drinking the purple pearl every evening, and soon her master was sharp as a needle again. Drink 1 cup of these wild berries, blended with a little water or a bit of the long yellow fruit, 90 minutes before you lay your head down. That is when the house begins its nightly repair, and these workers go straight to the attic to fix the cracks and polish the glass. Next, we have the green elixir, a humble leaf that you probably push to the side of your plate like a petulant child. Spinach. The salesman says it's for your lamps because it holds the protective paints, lutein and zeaxanthin, that your house stores in the center of your vision. As you age, these paints fade, leaving your lamps open to the fire and the harsh light from the sky. This is why everything looks like a smudge of grease on a mirror. But the green elixir brings the paint back. A study in 2020 showed that those with this green blood in their pipes saw clearer and processed the world faster. It is like scrubbing the soot off the lantern so the light can finally shine through. Your lamps are not broken, they are just neglected and starving for the color of the fields. But the green elixir is more than just paint. It is the fuel for the master's mood. It is full of the B vitamins that keep the attic from becoming a dark, lonely place. It also stops a toxic rot called homocysteine from eating your brain cells like maggots in a fallen pear. The Salesmen found in 2018 that when you restore this green fuel, the master's attention returns. It even provides the vitamin K to keep the pipes and the master's shell strong and fast. But hear me, do not go drowning yourself in it. Too much can cause stones in your kidneys because of the sharp bits they call oxalates. Use one handful, juice it with a green apple to make it sweet enough for your soft tongue, and drink it mid-morning when your furnace is ready to work. Now that I have hammered these 4 truths into your thick skull, you must learn the rhythm of the house. You cannot just toss everything into the furnace at once like a fool. The white coat calls it a routine, but I call it the natural breath of your life. Your attic and your lamps do most of their patching while you are snoring in the dark, but they have peaks of hunger during the day. You must work with this tide, not fight against it like a drowning cat. This plan is gentle on the belly and made for those who have let their house crumble for too many seasons. It is the same wisdom I use to keep my own kin from wandering into the mist. Listen to the clock of your body, for it knows when the workers are ready to receive the earth's healing bitter juice. Start your day with the orange root. Drink it shortly after the sun peaks over the horizon, so your lamps have the oil they need to focus for the long day ahead. If you must take the salesman's chemical first, then drink the juice after a light meal of real food. Then, when the shadows begin to stretch between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, that is the window for the red root. This is when your furnace starts to flicker, and the river in your head becomes a slow, muddy crawl. 1 small glass of the earth's blood will restore the master's sharpness and force the river to flow fast again. Do not wait until you are exhausted and the walls are closing in. Feed the pipes when they are most thirsty for the oxygen the great earth provides you today. When the moon rises, 90 minutes before you tuck your tired bones into bed, drink the deep purple juice. This activates the little soldiers in your attic and helps the master rest while the new workers are born. It protects the fragile threads of your vision while you dream of better days. But where does the green elixir fit in this dance? Drink it mid-morning or with your midday bread. The paint for your lamps and the fuel for the master's mood absorb best when your belly is not a hollow cave or a stuffed sack. You do not need all 4 every single day, you lazy thing. Rotate them. 2 juices a day is plenty for a house that has been neglected for so long. Consistency is the only law I recognize in this ancient kitchen. These liquids are not a magic poison pill that will fix your rot in a single heartbeat. They are tools, like the hammer and the spade. Over time, they restore the small, fragile things inside you that this modern plastic life has worn down to the bone. They patch the tiny pipes in your lamps and reopen the communication lines in your attic. They clear the memory circuits that have been dulled by the fire and the rust of time. You may not feel the change on the first day, but stay with me. Healing does not happen in a single night of snoring. It happens when you decide to support your house every day, a little at a time, with the respect it deserves. Your body is waiting for you to stop the neglect right now. You sit there wondering if the dust has settled too deep, if the cracks in your house are too wide to mend. You think because you have forgotten the names of your own neighbors, or because the world looks like a smudged charcoal drawing, that it is over. Bah! I have walked this earth for 90 years, and I have seen men in their 80s who thought their attic was a tomb, only to see them wake up. The white coats might give up on you, but the earth never does. I have seen the smallest daily choices, the bitter herbs, the deep roots, the purple pearls, turn a crumbling shack back into a sturdy home. Your master in the attic is not dead. He is just sleeping in a room with no air. He is waiting for you to open the window and let the river flow through the pipes once more. It starts with momentum, not a miracle. You don't build a stone wall in an hour. You lay one rock at a time until the fence is high. A glass of the orange root in the morning to oil the lamps. A sip of the earth's blood in the afternoon to wake the pipes and push the oxygen into the attic. The deep purple juice at night to let the workers rebuild the master's memory while you dream of the old hills. The green elixir to paint the back of your eyes so you can see the sharp edges of the world again. It is not a poison pill that makes you a youth again, but it is the strength to stand. Your vision and your mind haven't given up on you. They are just starving for the real food of the ancestors. Give them what they need today. Now, if you have a spark of life left in those tired eyes, show me you are listening. Tap that little thumb on the screen to show you care about your own house. Share this wisdom with someone whose attic is gathering cobwebs, because we must look out for our own. If you want more of Nonna's truth, not the salesman's lies, then make sure you come back every week to hear my voice. Tell me, in the dust of the comments, which juice will you pour first? Are you brave enough for the red root, or are you still hiding behind your poison pills? I am watching you. Do not let this house fall while I am still here to shout at you. Go now. Drink the earth, stay sharp, and remember who you are. Until next time, keep your pipes clean and your attic bright.